My name is Suzanne Brown-Fleming, and I'm from the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. I'm within the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel Center for Advanced Holocaust Studies, and we also have a program on ethics, religion, and the Holocaust. I myself am a trained historian on the Catholic Church during the Nazi and Holocaust eras. And the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum has always been passionate about three things: memory, to honor survivors, education, and accepting the responsibility we each have as human beings and individuals to take accountability for our choices. We're really excited to be involved in this conference because Christian-Jewish dialogue has always been the seed of greater things to come. After 2,000 years of Christian anti-Semitism, after World War II and the real flowering of Christian-Jewish dialogue, we have finally a chance to bring ourselves together as one and to study and look at the past together. And this conference is the perfect opportunity for that. Well, I have to say it takes a village, and the new openness of the archival material and the willingness of the Holy Father to allow researchers in a very open way has meant that researchers can work together to tackle these materials. Now, it's not possible for one person to find all of the definitive conclusions. We really have to tackle these millions of pages one folio at a time, one page at a time, to bring together all the pieces and see what kind of new picture emerges. And that kind of work takes many, many years, even decades, to really go through all of those pages in a responsible and careful and sensitive way. I think here it's really about the topic itself. The Holocaust was one of the most cataclysmic events in human history, not only for Jews, but for Christians and for society as a whole. It was an event that impacted all of humanity and made us really question ourselves and our values and how such tragic events could come to be, and how Christians and Catholics participated in these events, sometimes as rescuers, sometimes as killers, usually somewhere in the long road between those two extremes. So these are historical questions, certainly. It's very important to take each piece of evidence and be able to tell the story in as clear and careful and correct way as possible. But the implications of the story, the implications of this, are very much theological ones. As a Catholic myself, I often ask, what are the ramifications of how Catholics participated in this history? And what does it mean for the future of the Catholic Church and the Christian world that this happened on a Christian continent? So the two things really do have to be looked at together. We can look at the history, and then we have to look at the questions about ourselves, about humanity that it raises, and we can only do that with the help of theologians. I'm very proud that the Holocaust Museum is part of this historic conference where many scholars from the Christian world, the Jewish world, from non-denominational researchers are all coming together to look at one another's research and ask critical questions and build and rebuild the puzzle. And you can see by the sponsors in this organization that all of us really have the same goal. We want to, as Pope Francis himself said, we are not afraid of history, and we want to put these pieces together and do that together in one community. Oftentimes the emotional weight of the history has made it difficult to do this, and we are really hoping that the outcome of this conference is one where we have more questions than answers, we build new networks of researchers, and that the work continues for decades to come. For too long, this topic has been dominated by controversy and focus on the person of the Pope himself rather than the whole universal Catholic Church. And there were many actors during this period, both within the Jewish community and within the Catholic community. And all of that in its entirety has to be studied. Each person's decision and piece of the puzzle is important, and to really work together, Jews and Christians alike, and scholars around the world together, to figure out those pieces and ask the broader questions about human nature is what we're hoping to achieve here. And I'm just so pleased that the sponsors that have come together here all have the same aim to create a new pattern, I would say, of careful, sensitive research over time without going into the documents already knowing what we want to say, but rather going into the documents like a new adventure, like climbing a new mountain and seeing what comes out on the other side.